it's Asia Lachelle here, and I am back with another video. On today's video, we are going to be making a YouTube intro, and I'm not talking about no little one-page intro. I'm talking about a dynamic intro. So yeah, let me show you what we're going to be creating today, and then I'll get into the how-tos. So here's the intro. Let me go ahead and play it. Okay, so that is the introduction. It's 15 seconds even, so it's a good length for an intro. It's not too long, not too short, covers everything. So let's get into it. So from the home page of Canva, you're going to search for YouTube intro. And when you do, you just scroll down here and click on YouTube introduction or YouTube intro. Now, I'm starting from a blank slate, but you can feel free to come through. There are templates in here that are already created, so it may be easier for you to do something starting from a template and then just tweaking it for your own needs or purposes, okay? Because there are some pretty cool ones that are already in here that you can just tweak, okay? But we're gonna start from a blank slate. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our background image that I use throughout, which was the falling diamonds, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the background color to black. And I'll explain why in just a second. So the background color is black. The next thing we need to do is come into elements, and I'm going to search for falling diamonds. Okay. And then I'm going to click on videos, and as you see, there are plenty of videos in here with falling diamonds. I didn't want the diamonds to fall so fast, so I liked this one, and I'm going to drag it and drop it here. Okay, so now you see the diamonds are there, they're falling. But the thing is, I want to be able to layer text on top of this, and if I put text on top of this right now, with the diamonds being so bold and bright, it's going to take away from any text or anything I put on top of it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the video, and I'm going to do two things. I'm going to bring down what's called the transparency. So click transparency, and I'm going to bring it down to 50%. You can change it to whatever you want, but as you can see, like the transparency being at 50, it's not as bright. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the length of the video. I think I only need it to be like 2 seconds, but let me double check the demo to see how long I made it. So yeah, only 1.5 seconds. So I'm going to trim this video down to 1.5 seconds. Okay, so now we have that there. We're good to go. Now, the reason why I had you set the background of the page to black is because when you change the transparency of the video, if the background had been white, then it would have been white showing through the background. So whatever your background is, and you put something and you change the transparency of something on top of it, whatever the color is behind it is what's going to show. So that's why I set it to black, because I wanted to keep that dark background. Okay, so I know that we have how many slides here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slides with that diamond background. So now that we have that set, I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this page 7 times, and you can hit duplicate, or you can do Command and D. Hold on. We'll just keep doing duplicate, or you can come up here and hit the duplicate page as well, like that. All right, so we have 7 pages, duplicate it, doing the same thing. So we're all good here. All right, so the next thing that we have to do, let's check. So I added this video type of strip on top of, or the film strip on top of the video, right? So let's do that. So next we need to search for frames. So you'll come into elements and we're going to scroll down until you see frames and click on see all. And the frame that I used was this one here. Okay. And what I did was I wanted the outside to pop. So I changed this outside color to white and then the inside of the strip to black. So now you see the little letters change to black. So now we're just going to expand this. And I believe I put it on a 6-degree angle, but you just decide how much you want the strip to be angled or not angled. I just like using angles because to me it just gives like visual interest, I guess. So let me see here. Yeah, that's looking about right. All right, so now that we have that laid out, now I have the glamorous life, right? So I'm using a font called Gisty. And so let's add the text in here. So let's click on text, just click on add a heading, and let's type out what we want to say. So this, in this case, I put I hit return, glamorous, and then life. Okay, so let's make this text a little bigger, so we'll just drag it out. Okay, so now we have that there. Let's drag it into place, and then let's go through our fonts. Now I know what font I used, but just so you know, like if you want to choose a different type of font, or instead of just scrolling to find something that you like, if you click up here in that little search field, you can either search for like calligraphy or script or something like that. But there's also these little headings here that already have like things grouped into the types of fonts that are available, like calligraphy or brush script or something like that. So, or something that's handwritten or graffiti. Do you see what I'm saying? So if there's a type of font that you wanted, you can come up here and kind of look through what they already have up here instead of like trying to search for specific fonts. So like if I clicked on brush, here are all the ones that look like they may have been created with like a brush. Do you get what I'm saying? And you can come through here and play around with the fonts that way. But I know that I chose Gisty. Someone's going to click that. Okay, so we have Gisty selected, but it looks a little different. So I know that I changed the line spacing because I wanted the words to be closer together. So let me look at what I spaced it at. So I brought the line spacing down to 0.84. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Click on it, click here, and bring the line spacing down to 0.84. All right, so there. Now we have it spaced. I also know that I had the font, I believe, at 287. So you can come up here and you can type in the font size if you want. You know, I believe that's what I have it at. Make sure. No, 247. I have to say that's a little big. 247. Okay, cool. So then I have that here, and I also have it on a diagonal. So let me look and check my angle percent. Probably have it on like 6, but yep, it was at 6. So let's twist this around, use this, and you can see the little percentage popping up. So I had it on 6. So I had it basically on the same percentage as this one. I like to do that because like visually it kind of looks, I don't know, just more fluid. All right, so I also added an effect onto the text. So click on effect, and I added the neon effect, okay? But I use the neon effect on black. So I'm gonna raise it all the way up to the top, most intense. I'm gonna change the color of the font to black. And the reason why I did that is, let me pull it on top of this. You see how that black, it kind of creates like a shadow around the text. Well, I did that to kind of allow for that text to pop up off of the background. right? I wanted to create more contrast between the letters and the background than what was there, because I didn't want the words to kind of look like they were almost blurring into the background in a sense. I wanted to pop off the page a little bit more. Nothing major, but just a little bit more. So the other thing I did with the text is I added an effect. So, or an animation. So it looks like the animation that I used was called roll. Okay, so let's go over to animate, and I clicked on roll, and that's the effect. Canva has a bunch of new effects that they've, or that's the animation, but they've added a bunch of different animations, so you can choose whatever one you want. That's like typewriter, that's ascend, bounce, burst. Like there's a tons of stuff in here, so I just used roll. Okay, cool. So now we have that in here. So the glamorous life. And the next thing that I want to put in here is I want to put some videos in. Now there's this model, I think her name is like Alicia Brown. Like you literally see Alicia on everything. She does modeling for, I think it's like the Chic Couture or something like that. And she also models for like GT Wholesale website. She does a lot of modeling, and you see her all over the place. And so there's tons of videos of her. So she is like the fictitious person I'm building this introduction for. So I'm going to go to my uploads, and I'm going to go to my videos, and I have some videos of her in here that I've used for advertising and banners and stuff like that before. So I'm going to put, I think I'm going to use this picture or this video, and you can move your videos around inside of the little spot or whatever. So I'm going to bring it to like this, and then I'll probably use, let me use this one. Okay, I'll bring her like this. And the reason why I like to, like, if you use videos of yourself and stuff like that, it just adds like layers of like interest to the video instead of like still pictures. If you have videos of yourself, like, you know, maybe from like an Instagram story or from a reel or from Snapchat or from TikTok or something, use those videos inside of your introduction, because it just adds more life to your introductions. So okay, cool. So we have this in here. Now let's play it, see what we have so far. Oh, child, it should have been more than that. Hold on a second. Oh, I realized I've been building this on the 7th tile. Let me move this to the front. Here we go. Let me play. All right, boom. Okay, the other thing we need to do is trim down these videos in here, because we have this tile set to 1.5 seconds, but if any of the videos that you use are longer than the main tile, it'll run longer. So we need to edit these videos down to 1.5 seconds as well, so they're all on the same page. So let me bring this down to 1.5 seconds, and this one down to 1.5 seconds as well. And the other thing I wanted to note is that, okay, let's say we have it trimmed down, but let's say I wanted a different part of the video to be captured. You can drag this around to capture different parts of the video if you want. So it doesn't always have to start from the beginning, right? Okay, so now we have that. Now let's go ahead and play it. Boom. And now it's transitioned to the next tile. So we have the first slide done. All right, so the next thing we do is we have with, right, the word with. So that's going to be pretty easy, and it looks like all I did here was it's just white, and it's a typewriter effect, and it's Lotto at 449 on the font size. So let's do that. So let's click on this next tile. We're going to go to text. We're going to add a heading. We're going to type the word with. We're going to go in here to the 3 dots and click more, and I'm going to make it all uppercase. Okay, so that's a good option there. Like I always tell people, do not like type with your cap locks on, use that option, because if you want to come in and change that later to like lowercase, you won't have to retype it. So, and it was at 449. Okay, so let's do this. This is going to be 449, and the font that I used was called Lotto, but again, you do what you want. It's your thing, it's your world. All right, so I'm going to bring that there. I'm going to just move it and drag it to the center. And if you ever have a hard time like trying to find center, you can also come up here to these dots. Depending on the size screen you have, it might not be under dots, it might be the whole bar, but it just depends on how big your screen is. So you come up there and you go to position, and you can click middle and you can click center, and it will bring it right smack dab in the middle of the screen. All right, so next we're going to go to effect, and we're going to add the neon effect on there. So boom, we got neon, and the animation that we put on this was typewriter, I believe. Yes, it was a typewriter. All right, so we have width. So that is done. That was easy peasy. Let's go on to the third slide, and I think it said Brittany Dior, right? So that's her name. So what I'm going to do, an easy thing to do is, let's say you already got your font, like you got your font laid out, right? So, and you got the effect that you want on it already. So just copy your font from the first page, come over to the third screen, and then paste it. Boom, you see, so it's already there. So let me just now type her name, this fictitious name, Brittany Dior. Okay, cool. So we already have that typed out. And so let me check over here and see what size we had it. So it was at 300, and it had the neon effect all the way up, and the text is black, and I did a burst on this. So let's come over here and do the same thing. So let's position it this way. We're going to make the text black. Okay. And we are going to bring it to 300. And the effect we're putting on this is burst. All right, cool. So we have that on here. And now we need to add that phone that we have as well on here. So let's do that. Let's do the phone. We're going to come to elements, and we're going to go back into frames again. So you can search through your frames to find the phone, or if you come back into elements, you can just type iPhone. And I used this second frame here. And then all I did was I made the outline or the outside case white. And then all these subsequent buttons, I just clicked on like the different grays here to make the buttons kind of like flow with the rest of the phone. The buttons are so small, they're honestly not visible, and it really does not matter much. So that's why I did that. Really, the outside color of the case matters most. So I'm going to make the phone bigger, and I'm going to, y'all already know, put it at a diagonal. So I have it on a diagonal here. Kind of see how it positioned. All right, so I have it more like this. And I just find it like to be more visually interesting sometimes to have the device like partially not on the screen. It just looks a little bit more interesting instead of having it all of it in here. So I just do something like this to kind of like offset it. And I'm going to bring her name a little bit more like this. So here we go. So now we have that, and I have a photo that I made. Oh gosh, where is it? Y'all, I make a lot of products, okay? So a lot of stuff that you're seeing me scroll through are completed products that I've made for my Etsy shop. And this is the picture here that I used. And I think I want to like zoom in on her more. So I'm going to just double click on the picture and like drag it out to make her a little bigger. Boop. So I think we're good there. So that looks very similar to what we had going on. I feel like I had the text and the phone closer together, more like that. Okay, so boom, so we have that. And now let's look at the animation. I always like to just check to make sure everything is flowing and looking good. So let's play it again. The Glamorous Life with Brittany Dior. Boom. Nice. All right, so we're good. We're flowing. So let's go. The next one is like. So we have like, and then we have a picture of her here. Okay, cool. So the next thing we're going to do is, being that like is the same text or the font type as with, I'm going to just come back over here to the second page, copy with, and I just did Command C, come over to page 4, and I'm going to do a Command V to paste it, and I'm going to type the word like. Now let me get the dimensions. So like, we have it is at 449. And we have the neon effect on it, and it's a typewriter. So let's do that. 449. We got it at 449. Perfect. Now let me make sure. Is that right? 449. Okay, cool. We have it at 449. We just need to move it over here. It's already on typewriter, because the thing is, we already used the typewriter on the other one, so it's the same. So cool. We got like, typewriter is the right size. Now we just need the other photo of her, and I believe it's in this folder. I have so many pictures that I use, y'all, for my my shop and for my products. Okay, here we go. I think this is the picture. So here we go. Just grab the picture. We're going to go to effects, and then we're going to click on the background remover. I'm going to hit apply. Give it a second, she'll pop up. There we go. So now it's locked in. I always click off of it, because sometimes in Canva, if you move something after an effect's been applied to it, it'll erase the effect. So I always click off of it and then back onto it. It's just a little tip. All right, so let's make her bigger. So we had it like something like that. Let me check what I did. So I brought her like this, and I brought like a little closer. So I'm liking this. So this looks good. So what did I put on her for the effect? So I have her doing drift. So the animation on the picture is going to be drift. And here it is. Okay. So boom. So we have that done. So we have the Glamorous Life with Brittany Dior like, and I believe the next thing is going to be share. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's look at what we did here. So share is smaller, so it's 317. It's still going to have typewriter on it. So let's do that. So we're going to copy the word like, come over to the 5th tile. We're going to paste it. We're going to type out the word share. Okay. And then we're going to bring the font down. I think it was to 317. Here we go. And then where did I have share placed? Okay, so share is placed towards the right. Okay, and the next photo of her, I have her like that shot. So I believe that is here. So there she is. There's that picture. All right, so now let's click on effects again. We're going to do background remover. Okay, let's apply it. Okay, let's click off. Select her now. I'm going to move her this way, and I'm going to flip her around. So flip horizontal. Here we go. And I made her bigger. I think more like this and had her like that. Yeah, that's about it. All right, so cool. So we have that. That's done. And then I believe, what did I put her animation as? So I did a rise animation on her this time. So click on animate. Let's do rise. So she's doing that. Boom. All right, so we're good. Let's do the next one. Y'all seeing this is kind of easy. So now we're going to do the subscribe one. So let's change subscribe. So subscribe is at 176. All right, so now all we do is come back over here. Let's click on the word share. Let's copy it. Come over to the 6th tile, paste the word share. This time we're going to do subscribe. And I forgot that fast. Okay, it was 176. So double click, change that to 176. Boom. All right, so I kind of had it up here and in the center. All right, so next, I believe those pictures of her are in a different bucket. Here we go. So I believe I used this picture and this picture. So let's go ahead and do effects, background remover. And this is so helpful. It's so easy just to be able to click the button. Let me hit apply. Just to click the button and it does it, and it does a really good job. For the most part, you never really have to go in and tweak what it cut out, especially if you use good pictures that the picture quality is good and like the background is pretty clear, so it's clear what you want to cut out. Like how this is, like this was a photo shoot, so it's very easy for the system to detect the background versus the picture of the person. And I think those pants are so cute. Okay, so apply. Just wait a second. Or more than a second. Okay. So let me see how I had her positioned. So I had to flip this way and this way. So let's work on this one. And the effect I put on this was tumble. All right, so we're gonna flip her horizontally. Make her larger. Like so. And we're gonna put the tumble effect on this way. Bow. I think she was slightly smaller. So let's do that. Something like that. Okay. And then for this picture, we're gonna make it larger and put the stomp effect on it. Okay. I swear once Canva puts or gives you the option for transitions, it's gonna be curtains. All right, so we have that. And then the last thing we did as far as the design was the follow at Brickbat. So let's do this. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna copy this, subscribe, come over here, paste it, type out the word follow, and I believe I kept follow at the same size as subscribe, but let me double check. Follow is at 176. Yes, I kept it the same. So we're gonna put follow up here, closer this way. And then I'm gonna come grab this text, Brittany Dior, right? I'm gonna type it over here, or paste it over here, and then I'm gonna type her fictitious IG, her fictitious handle at Brit the Brat. Okay. Just want to bring this here, and I know I made the text black. There we go. And here we go here. And let me just check the angle that I had this on. So I had it on a 4, and I had the text size at 300. So it's at 300, and let's move this to a 4. All right, so we have that. Follow at Brit the Brat, something like this. And then these, let's get these icons. So I had Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All right, so let's go up here to elements and then just type Instagram. And I used this one and I changed it to white. Okay. Just gonna make it smaller. And then the next one I'm gonna search for is Twitter. And I'm gonna use this one and make it white. Now to get everything the same size, I'm gonna, you see that line that popped up at the bottom? Right, so now they're on the same bottom line. I'm gonna just drag it down until you see, boom, you see that line, that purple dashed line. Now they're on this, they're same at the top line. So the next one, and the magic recommendations is cool because it's gonna show you like what is similar in the same type of design. So this TikTok is similar to that Instagram and to this Twitter. So let me click on that one. And then click on white. And I'm gonna do the same thing. And that's on the same line now. And they're on the same line now. Okay, so now we got to work on spacing. One of my tips for spacing is I hold down shift and I click this one. I click each one. Boom, boom. Right, so now they look like they're grouped together. I'm going to come to position and I'm going to click on tidy up. And what it does is it makes sure that everything you have selected is equally spaced apart. The other thing you can do is that you can group them so that if you move them, like they, you know, you don't have to do it one at a time. So I think I kind of had it slightly smaller. I want to say maybe, let me go check. Yeah, it was slightly smaller. It's actually a little smaller than this. All right, so we have that and we're bringing it to the center. So here we go. Now, so we have that together, and I know I added animations to these, and it was the pop animation. So pop. And I don't want them to pop. Now I'm going to ungroup them because I want the pop effect to happen on them individually. I don't want them to pop together. I want it to be like an individual pop. So that pop, this pop, this pop. You see what I'm saying? I didn't want them to pop as a group. Okay, so here we go. So now the last little bit is just adding these last two photos of her in here. And I believe it's in this folder. Please let it be in this folder. Yeah, I think so. So we'll just do this one. And I think, oh, where's the other picture? I think I used this one. Yes. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing, y'all. Just do the effect. Background remover. And unfortunately, you have to do this one at a time. You cannot like click on multiple ones and remove the background at the same time. So hit apply. Let it do its thing until you really see the background gone. Okay, perfect. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Okay, I'm going to hit apply. All right, cool. So let's see how I have her positioned. So I just did this. Okay. So let's make her slightly bigger. And I had it something like that. And I'm going to change her position to put her backwards. I actually kind of like this effect because it makes it seem more dynamic, because it's like she's floating and you have her behind the text. Like, I don't know, it just adds like visual interest. So I'm going to flip her horizontal. And then move it this way. And I think that looks, she looks about even now. So I'm going to put her backward as well. All right. So that's it. So let's play it from top to bottom. Okay. Now the last little bit is just timing. So these are just things I do for timing. So for example, the glamorous life, this one, the first slide, I had it timed at 1.5. Width, I have it timed at 1 second. The Britney Dior, I have it timed at 2 seconds. These ones are at 1.5. I think the share, the like, and the subscribe are all timed at 1.5. And then the last one is timed at 3.5 seconds. And the reason why I did that is because, like, normally if you look at people's introductions, the last bit of the intro where their social handle is at, they pause longer on that because they want people to see the socials. They want them to see the at a little bit longer than everything else. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So you just come in here and you, so let's say on the follow one, click this, and you're going to drag this out to 3 seconds so that it lasts a little longer. So it like lingers a little longer. The subscribe one, I only had it at 1 second, so it doesn't have to be as long. I did the same thing with share. To me, I just felt like this had the better flow. Every video is going to be different, so don't feel like you have to do your timing on your video the same. I'm just saying, like, figure out what you want your timing and what you want your flow to be so that it makes sense for what you're doing. Because you might not do something as long as this, you might do a shorter one, but whatever makes more sense to you, like, figure out your timing. And then, like, where it was on her name, I know I did it at 2 seconds. Okay, and then the width was 1 second as well. All right, so now if we play it out, it's more boom, width, Brittany Dior, bow, like, share, subscribe, follow, and then it lingers on follow for a while. You see? So the last thing, the very last thing I did was, and this is just a preference. How the video looks, how the intro looks now is perfectly fine, but I like a fading effect, and Canva doesn't technically have transitions. So to get yourself to get somewhat of a transition, you can add blank slides in. So I'm just going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to, it's already black, and I'm going to change the timing to this all the way down to 0.3. I can't get it. So I can type, you can type into this. You don't have to just use the slider. So I have it set at 0.3. So what I'm going to do now is I need how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. So I have 1. So let me just duplicate this 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we're going to start moving these in between the videos or the slides. And the reason why I'm doing this, like I said, is to create a bit of a transition in between the slides. So it's a smoother, I don't know, to me it's a smoother phase in and phase out between the slides. This is just a preference, and it's not something that you have to do. This is just something that I like. Most people wouldn't even notice it, but I notice it. So I'm just going to play it so you guys can see it with those transitions. Boom. And it's so subtle, you barely notice it. So that is just something you can do if you'd like. That, my friends, is it. That is everything. Again, if you would like to subscribe to my channel, please do so. If you've watched all the way through to the end, if you found this to be helpful to you. Also, if you do not have Canva and you want to use Canva and you want to use these awesome features that I have shown in this video, you can sign up for Canva and get 30 days of Canva Pro for free. And then after that, it's just $12.95. And like I said, it is the best $12.95 I think most people will spend. I know I use Canva literally every single day. So aside from that, I'll check y'all out later, and I'll catch you on the next one.